Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that is watching the bionic elbow being dropped from the heavens. This is Lost in the Midcard, episode 21. We'd like to thank SpiderDuck.net for hosting us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and also on YouTube. You can go to our Facebook page for both of those links at facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett, at JBHuskers on Twitter. And my co-host, as always, you can find him on Twitter at RawFShowtime, Matt Black. And Matt, can you, without giving anything away, briefly describe to me what you thought about Money in the Bank tonight?
It was shit.
That's a good brief description, huh?
Oh, you didn't want me to give anything away. You know, honestly, I thought it was the worst pay-per-view they've put out this year.
All right, we'll dive into why Matt thinks that. We'll disagree on a couple of points, I think, in there, but I think we're going to both agree on what the match of the night was. That's going to be a no-brainer. But first,
I would certainly think so.
Melina against Alicia Fox. That was the match of the night, right?
You called it.
But first, of course, for those that are familiar with the wrestling world and of Dusty Rhodes, we all know that on Thursday, unfortunately, one of the greatest men in the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday, today, and even in tomorrow, because of the effect that he's had with the guys at NXT. Unfortunately, Dusty Rhodes passed away Thursday at the age of 69. WWE.com reported this, and he was a three-time NWA champion. One of the most captivating, charismatic figures in the sports entertainment industry. WWE.com goes on to say Runnels became a hero to the fans around the world thanks to his work ethic, his impassioned interviews, and his indomitable spirit. Moreover, Runnels was a dedicated father to WWE superstars Goldust and Stardust, which are Dustin and Cody Runnels, a caring husband and a creative visionary who helped shape the landscape of the WWE long after his in-ring career had ended. WWE extends its sincerest condolences to the Runnels family, friends, and colleagues. Dusty Rhodes got his career started around the late 60s. First off, in the American Wrestling Association, the AWA, he would be in a tag team with fellow Texan Dirty Dick Murdoch. And then eventually he would join the NWA National Wrestling Alliance, and he would wrestle the territories there in the late 70s. Mid to late 70s, and he would even work with Vince McMahon's WWE in the late 70s. He'd main evented Madison Square Garden twice. Both times he challenged superstar Billy Graham. Won the first match via countout and lost the second one in a Texas death match. However, it was not really it was more like the WWE's version of Texas deathmatch rules, where actually it's supposed to go an unlimited amount of falls, and then the wrestler is supposed to not answer a 10 count. Instead, in the WWE, they twisted it around to have just to one fall. In September 4th, 1976, Rhodes defeated Ric Flair for the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship in Richmond, Virginia, and but the decision was overturned at a house show, and Flair remained champion. In 1978, Rhodes won a single-night tournament to capture the vacant Florida Heavyweight Championship. Then he eventually began working with Jim Crockett Promotions, which was in Mid-Atlantic, famously turned into WCW. He worked with Magnum TA as America's team back then, and they teamed up to kind of face the Four Horsemen in what was a very epic battle between those guys until, unfortunately, Magnum TA's career was ended prematurely due to a car accident. He would then form the Superpowers with Nikita Koloff, and was also a six-man tag champion with the Road Warriors. For Jim Crockett Promotions, Rhodes would become a booker, And after he won the television title in 1985, he's credited with coming up with many of the pay-per-view names and gimmicks at WCW, such as War Games, Battle Bowl, and Lethal Lottery. And then, of course, there's the term called a Dusty Finish, which refers to Rhodes' one of favorite techniques, where the match ends in controversy, but the fans go home thinking the hero had won the match. Of course, as we mentioned, at Elimination Chamber, that's kind of how the Ambrose and Rollins match ended in the main event of that one. He would go on to World Wrestling Federation in what was known as his kind of yellow polka-dotted years from 1989 to 1991. He would make a return to WCW after that. He served as the manager for Ron Simmons from 1991 to 1992. He was in the corner of Simmons when he defeated Vader to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, the first black man to do so. And then later on in his career, he would join the broadcast team with Schiavone and Heenan. He would eventually be on the side of WCW when it was battling the New World Order. He would eventually do a turn into the New World Order, as basically everybody in the WCW roster would do at a time or two. Then he had a little 2-year stint with Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, or TNA, as you may expect. And then over the past 10 years, Rhodes returned to the WWE, signing a Legends deal. Basically, from there on out, Rhodes would go on to shape a lot of the young superstars in the WWE. He would also be involved in some feuds with his sons, either against them or with them. Most famously, one of the last times they were all together was when Cody Rhodes and Goldust were fired by the Authority, and Dusty kind of teamed with them and brought them back into the company, which was a great time, a great moment for the Rhodes family there. His last performance or appearance with the WWE would be on WWE programming March 28th, when he appeared at the Hall of Fame on the live red carpet show. Matt, we all share the same sentiments and feelings with Dusty Rhodes. I'd like you to go first with just your kind of thoughts on Dusty and the legacy that he left behind.
Man, he impacted almost every aspect of this business in the last, I would say, as long as I've been alive. I don't even need to go any further than that. Just really seemed to come out of nowhere. It hit me hard. It hit wrestling fans all over the world hard. Still not really feeling right talking about it, if that makes sense. I don't know. Some people in the industry pass away, and you can forget about it in a day or two. Just because they didn't really have any impact on you. But, I kind of grew up with Dusty Rhodes. Mm-hmm. And, the ones you grow up with are the ones that hurt the most. So, yeah, it sucks. That's,
yeah.
I don't have any poetic words or anything revolutionary to say. It just, man, my heart goes out to his family and his kids, and and the entire WWE family. It's just it's rough.
Yeah, we were talking about on Twitter this week, over the weekend, about wrestling deaths that really affected us, and for me, like, I was kind of away from the WWE for the longest time, so I didn't really have that long connection with Owen Hart when he had passed away. I knew it was a very tragic and sad moment, and especially for the Hart family, because they're such a close-knit family. Of course, the death of Eddie Guerrero shook a lot of wrestlers' lives as well. But for me, it's hard to top the emotional despair of someone passing away as it is with Dusty Rhodes. As you said, Matt, my first taste of wrestling was at my grandma's at 505, watching Jim Crockett Promotions, and then what it would eventually turn into WCW, and seeing that common man everybody could identify with. You know, he wasn't Mr. Olympia. He looked like a regular man and was able to get that job done for all the common people out there. And some of his promos and lines, which we'll get to in a little later, with our top 5 tonight, we're gonna pay tribute to Dusty. You know, it just he connected with you through that television screen, and just as he connected with us as kids through that television screen, he connected with the students at NXT, where he'd worked with them for the past few years. You know, he was, those that watched Money in the Bank tonight, they saw when Seth Rollins was the first ever NXT champion, there was Dusty Rhodes there to present the belt, and he's had a profound impact on everybody's lives. And we'll go through a couple of instances of words spoken on different parts of the wrestling world. One by JR, Jim Ross, and then another one by one of the proteges for Dusty Rhodes, one of the guys that kind of taught him the ropes on the WWE side once he got here, and Kevin Owens. And we'll go through those, and looking at those words, you're going to see just truly what Dusty meant to everybody in the wrestling industry and fans all around the world. Matt, do you have anything else to say other than what we've said here?
No, because I honestly don't feel my words can do. I don't think my words can do anything justice right now.
Yeah, it's completely tough, and you could tell all around the nation that when this happened on Thursday how tough it was for people, and you know, now's the time to just look back and celebrate everything he did, and like I said, we're going to go do that with our top 5 here later on tonight. It's not going to be like a dueling list of top 5s. We kind of compiled a list of great lines by Dusty Rhodes, and including one of the best promos ever in professional wrestling, and we will play that live here for you coming up later on. As I said, I've got a couple of pieces that were written here. One by Jim Ross, thanks to FoxSports.com, and then another from Kevin Owens, who did it through the TwitLonger apps and posted it through his Twitter account. First off, we'll start with JR. While in Asheville, North Carolina on Thursday working with our charity Headlock on Hunger, WWE caught up with me to interview me for an upcoming Owen Hart DVD. I had just been asked the question, what does the date May 23rd, 1999 mean to you? My cell phone began buzzing like it was obsessed at the mere mention of the date and remains burned deep in my mind. My cell buzzed so long, so often, that one of the crew members had to stop recording. With my mind reluctantly racing to the fateful date in Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri, that I regularly work with on suppressing, I had excused myself to regain my composure, adjourned to the men's room, and checked my messages on my manic phone. While trying to wrap my head around what the date in 1999 that Owen Hart died meant to me, I found out that my friend of 30-plus years, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, had died. What seemed to have been a sad day suddenly became a day of despair and heartbreak. The dream is dead. Virgil Riley Runnels Jr. was born on October 12, 1945, and a proud Texan who graduated from Austin Johnson High School, where he was a baseball and football star before attending a variety of colleges for varying lengths of time, while both playing sports and occasionally attending class. Big Dust was a lifelong pro wrestling fan who parlayed his distinctive speech impediment and burly physique into one of the most charismatic professional wrestling personas of any era. In the ring, Virgil became Dusty. Outside the ring, the son of a plumber was also Dusty. Playing the role of a common man with a huge heart and no fear was easy for Dusty because that's what he was. The greatest performers in the squared circle are embellished replicas of themselves. Dusty Rhodes was simply cast as himself, and no one portrayed themselves better than the American Dream. He once won $100 from me on a game of horse at Jim Crockett Jr.'s home in Charlotte, North Carolina. We debated every year for the past quarter of a century on the merits of his Texas Longhorns and my Oklahoma Sooners Red River rivalry that often played on or close to his birthday and my wedding anniversary of the same date. There were many October 12s where my wife Jan slept in, and Dusty received a happy birthday call before she got her happy anniversary greeting. We were broadcast partners on many occasions, the last time calling a match on Florida Championship Wrestling and about putting William Regal against Dean Ambrose. Broadcasting together again, we were happy as two steady rednecks at the barbecue buffet. Dusty Rhodes was an innovator, a creator, a mentor, and a performer like the likes we will never see again in his star-crossed profession. The spirit and legacy of the American Dream will live forever in the hearts and minds of everyone who heard him speak and watched Big Dust get funky like a monkey in the squared circle. Until we see each other again, may you rest in peace, my dear friend. Once again, those are some great words that were put out there by Jim Ross on the learning of the death of Dusty Rhodes. And on the other end of the spectrum, someone that is just getting their feet wet in the WWE, but has had a lot of interactions and kind of shown the growth of how to grow within the company from Dusty Rhodes. Kevin Owens also remembered Dusty with these words. These past few weeks I kept telling myself that I had to find time to stop by the Performance Center and talk to Dusty. I wanted to thank him for all his help in the past year and make sure he knew how grateful I was for the chance I got to work with him. But I've been very busy and just couldn't find the time. Well, today I learned that Dusty Rhodes has passed away. There are no words to express the sadness I feel, not only because I won't get to see him or talk to him or laugh with him again, but because I didn't get to tell him how special he was to me. So today I invite all of you to make time to tell the people in your lives how much they mean to you. You never know what tomorrow may bring. I can only hope that even though I didn't get to tell him directly, Dusty knew how much I appreciated and valued his help, wisdom, support, and friendship. He was unlike anybody I ever met in this industry, and to say that I will always remember him and be thankful for the honor of having known him is an understatement. In the meantime, the entire NXT crew is on its way to Pittsburgh, where we will do what we do best, and you can bet every single second of tonight and every other NXT show this week are dedicated to the memory of the legendary one and only Dusty Rhodes. My thoughts are with his family and friends at this time, especially his children. Your father was an incredible coach and an even better man. He will greatly be missed. Dusty used to call us his NXT kids. Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say tonight and from every night here on out that we will give it our all for you, Dusty. We will make you proud, Dream. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for everything. Much love, Kevin. Once again, those are some insightful and heartfelt thoughts from Kevin Owens on the passing of a guy that is, like I said, mentored everybody within the NXT universe and everything at NXT, the development, the promos, things, the tips and tricks, Enzo Amore mentioned it himself on his podcast with Taz this week, and they had recorded this just about a week prior. Taz did a cold open on the podcast, giving his condolences for Dusty and his own thoughts of the career of Dusty Rhodes, and then saying that his open and the interview were before the passing of Dusty Rhodes, and in that interview, Enzo mentioned Dusty Rhodes because Enzo is probably one of the best promo guys in NXT. So words cannot express what he's meant to a lot of people that have met him and have not met him, but it's truly going to be a sad loss, and we'll live to honor everything he's done for the rest of our lives. Let's try to move on here to some other topics, and this next topic is quite interesting. It's where the WWE is possibly working with WWN and Evolve. It sounds like they're close to an agreement to work with WWN, which is the parent company of Evolve, Full Impact Pro, and now the defunct Dragon Gate USA. According to a source, they say that the deal will pay WWE will pay WWN a certain fee like they did for ECW in the 1990s, where they will develop talent and keep them away from Ring of Honor and TNA so that NXT can get the look for these up-and-coming superstars. Part of this kind of stemmed from the fact that the WWE officials are not happy that Ring of Honor is releasing a Kevin Steen action figure. But Matt, what does this kind of do for the industry going forward if this deal is struck?
Oh, man, I would think long term it would be beneficial and positive to see WWE work hand in hand with the independent scene. I could totally see something like this would have been worked out with Ring of Honor if not for their national television deal. I really think this has more to ROH's national television contract than it has to do with an action figure. But that's just me speculating.
Knowing the WWE, they're probably mad at both equally.
I don't know. I think if you're mad over an action figure, I think you need to check your priorities a little bit. But that's just me.
Well, it is interesting that they want to keep talent away from Ring of Honor and TNA now that they're both TV deals. I mean, do you think? I mean, Ring of Honor getting a TV deal with Destination America. I mean, you can't really say that's a slight to the WWE because I mean they're still not really a huge competitor, right?
If you're on national TV, you're automatically under WWE's radar, and by getting the deal with Destination America, that's exactly what TNA did. Well, not TNA, but it's exactly what Ring of Honor did. I mean, TNA's already done it, and it's kind of bad if WWE's all of a sudden gonna look at Ring of Honor talents like they look at TNA talents, because it was really difficult to get people from TNA signed after they left or when their contracts are up or whatever. There's a hell of a lot of good talent in Ring of Honor right now. That if they're going to get overlooked because of ROH's national TV deal, that really freaking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb for WWE to think that way. I mean, you got guys like we recently discussed, guys like Moose. I mean, that guy's got potential written all over him, and a lot of other younger guys in the business, and it I would hope that WWE's not blinded by the fact that they're on national TV and too prideful to take them, because that would really,
I think it's really petty, honestly.
Yeah, and in the long run, it'll hurt them, because you're not going to have the 5 greatest indie guys in the world in NXT at the same time every time. Once they're all on the main roster, you're not going to just magically find those new 5 leaders of the new world. You just can't, because these guys are basically once in a lifetime talents that they pulled in, and you can't just expect that well to be always replenished, and to ignore certain aspects and certain talents from other companies is pretty ridiculous. But we aren't writing the checks, Matt. So
yeah, pretty much.
It was announced here this week that the Slammy Awards might be undergoing a change this December, according to the Wrestling Observer. Instead of holding them during an episode of Raw, they might make them an event on its own on possibly the WWE Network in a small theater type of setting, to make it more of an awards type show rather than mixing it in with a wrestling show. My thoughts on it are great, because I always thought the Slammy editions of Raw were just a hot mess. What did you think, Matt?
Yeah, I honestly enjoyed the Slammies a lot more back in the 90s when they were their own separate specials. It doesn't really fit in as well as part of Raw. I mean it's fine because it kind of makes the 3 hours go by a little bit quicker. But if you're gonna do it, I'd rather have like a 2-hour Slammy special on the network than integrated into an edition of Raw.
And that's what the network's for. It's to bring us, different ways to see our content, different shows. Like, we're going to get the new Swerve show with Jeff Tremaine from Jackass. That's coming here this week. There's already been a slew of new shows. Renee Young and Corey Graves both host their own great show. We got Jerry Springer. The network is evolving, and this is a definite logical step for the Slammies to go, I think. Now we had told you on previous editions of Lost in the Midcard that the Steve Austin Show, the podcast on the WWE Network, was coming back for a run of about 3 or 4 months. Now it is known that it's going to be a total of 12 podcasts, where the first was with Paul Heyman. So now we're going to get, it seems like, one for possibly every month for the next year, which is great. announced guests are going to be Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, and Sting. So that still leaves us 8 guests that have not been announced quite yet, Matt. I got a couple of guests. I'd love to see Shane McMahon.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen, but I'd love to see it.
I think it'd be great. But
Brock Lesnar.
Brock would be great. I think Kevin Owens would be great.
Mm-hmm. And they talked on the Steve Austin's podcast. They talked before Owens was even signed. I think, or right when he was signed, it might have been.
They could do one with Samoa Joe. I mean, they could do one with Dean. I mean, there's plenty that they could do.
I think The Rock would be
next
great.
Year. Yeah,
The Rock would be great.
Could find the time.
Yeah, just because of the rivalry they had. Hell, I wouldn't mind another one with Vince McMahon, because they didn't have the time to get everything we wanted to talk about in. So I think another one with Vince would be good too, I think.
Yeah, we can hear more about Cesaro being Swiss.
Any other guys that you speculate or want?
Not off the top of my head. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Stephanie McMahon in Austin. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know they already did one with Jericho, but I would much rather prefer Austin's line of questioning to Jericho's.
Yeah, I think even though we're speculating, I still think I'm most excited for Undertaker. Like we said on previous shows, just to see him kind of out of character.
Both him and Sting are amazing potential interviews waiting to happen. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to both of them quite a bit.
You know, one that would have been great to hear if he was still alive would have been Brian Pillman, just to hear them talk about the business when they were the Hollywood Blondes and their little feud on Raw with the gun incident in the house. I think just for the stories. I mean, you know, we heard some great stories with Heyman. I just imagine the stories with Pillman, man. That guy was a nut.
Yeah, there definitely could have been some cool stuff, for sure.
All right, we are going to transition into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view tonight. This was live from Columbus, Ohio. Well, hopefully we can get Trevor on. Maybe this week, this Wednesday's recording.
I would be super curious to see how it came across live.
Crowd seemed pretty quiet.
As per, you know, watching it on the air. I have my friend, we had a bunch of friends there. But Rudy, you know Rudy. Rudy Colon was in attendance. And after the main event, he tweeted out, "Wow, there is no pop. This island. #MITB."
Yeah.
So, and that's a good example of probably the way the crowd felt, you know, at the end of the show. I would, as I said, I would definitely be very curious to hear all of their, you know, we had a bunch of friends at the show tonight, to hear their individual reactions for how they viewed the show live as comparable to watching it on TV. Because sometimes viewing it in the arena gives you a completely different outlook to the show, and you might just enjoy the whole live aspect more than watching it on television. So, yeah, I'd be curious to see what they thought of the event as compared to what I feel about the event right now.
We'll hope to at least try to get Trevor on for that, and with the next episode. We start off Money in the Bank with everybody on the stage doing a 10-bell salute for Dusty, a great video tribute for Dusty as well. Make sure to, for those with the WWE Network, make sure to tune in to the WWE Network after Raw tomorrow. There will be a show called Celebrating the Dream, which will highlight the career and celebrate the memory of Dusty Rhodes. That's going to be right after Raw on the WWE Network. We kick off the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with the Money in the Bank ladder match. Randy Orton, Neville Kane, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, and Roman Reigns. The action was fast and furious in the beginning as a ladder was set up in the middle of the ring right off the bat. I thought it was kind of funny to see all 7 guys kind of racing up the ladder, pulling each other off. I thought that was a great fun spot to start off the match. There was a couple of great spots on this match. I think Orton's RKO of Neville was pretty badass. Neville doing the Red Arrow, but I don't think he could really do a Red Arrow on top of a ladder because the way you got to kind of torque yourself, that you'd probably fall the fuck on your face. But overall, I thought it was an entertaining match, but it didn't lack any holy shit moments. Is that kind of what your thoughts were too, Matt?
I thought the match was extremely underwhelming. I thought it was one of the most boring Money in the Bank ladder matches I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, and to top off the fact that you're putting the briefcase in the hands of Rocksteady, yeah, I'd want to drink too.
Hell
after
yeah!
watching that opening contest, Jay, blame you. Honestly, it was a bad omen for how the entire pay-per-view was going to go, and it's just, yeah, it sucked. There's no reason to beat around the bush. The match sucked. The opener sucked. Sheamus with the briefcase when Rollins is the champion sucks. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And it's once again WWE just not knowing what the fuck they're doing with their talent roster for anything to make sense.
Yeah, I agree where Sheamus with the briefcase doesn't make a lot of sense, but at the same time, we don't know where they're going to go with it. We'll have to see from there. But there were a few kind of tease spots in the match where we thought Sheamus was going to hit White Noise off the ladder. That would have probably killed Dolph Ziggler, but it did not happen.
It felt like nobody had... I felt like nobody stood out in the match whatsoever. It felt like everybody take a dirt nap for 75% of this match, and then you'll come in and you'll take a spot and then you'll disappear again.
Yeah,
and I did not like it at all. I've loved so many different Money in the Bank ladder matches over the years. Honestly, it's been one of my favorite events. But this one it sucked. There's just nothing about it. It just sucked. So, and that's all I've got to say about that.
One of the big stories from the Money in the Bank ladder match was Bray Wyatt. Just as Roman Reigns was about to climb the ladder, Bray Wyatt comes and knocks Roman Reigns off of the ladder to a big pop from the WWE Universe in Columbus, Ohio.
Speaking of a guy I couldn't give two fucks about anymore.
Really?
Dude, compared to how he was a year ago, he means absolutely nothing now. He's thrown into feuds that make absolutely no fucking sense, just so he puts over a guy and then goes on to the next feud where he's going to put over the next guy. Honestly, Harper and Rowan are in a better position than he is right now. He picks a fight with The Undertaker. He loses. He picks a fight with Ryback. He loses. He's now picked a fight with Roman Reigns, which guess what? He's going to lose in 5 weeks at Battleground. He's done. Bray Wyatt at this point is scorched earth. He's done. And anything short of putting the Wyatt family back together, you might as well just give up, rent, don't sell on Bray Wyatt and just move on. They've absolutely ruined him.
Yeah, I honestly thought Bray Wyatt was going to be in this match and win it, at some point, and now he goes from not even being in the match, but yeah, he's going to fight Roman Reigns, who, yeah, he'll probably get...
He's going to lose.
He's going to lose.
It's that simple. Dude, we don't even need to discuss it. 5 weeks from now, our Battleground prediction show, I'm already telling you, Roman Reigns defeats Bray Wyatt. You can mark it down right now. We don't even need to watch the next 5 weeks of TV because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't even argue that. I'm right.
It's like, of course, we were all thinking Reigns would win this match too, but he didn't. Yeah, I don't know. It is.
And here's WWE's biggest problem right now, and I can see what they're doing. I can see it coming from a mile away, and it's going to bite them in the ass.
What is it?
They want to put the title on Reigns at WrestleMania next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's the wrong time to do it. because that's when the most eyes are on the product, that's when the most hardcores are bitching, and that's the time you don't want to do this to him. Roman Reigns should be winning the title right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when less eyes are on the product and it's not nearly as bad for him to have a championship run, what they're doing right now is they're trying to make you feel like you desperately want to see Roman Reigns win the title, but nobody's falling into it. And honestly, I think the dude deserves a title run. I think he had, I think he had his WrestleMania moment ripped out from under him because of fan backlash, and he definitely deserves to have. Why the hell couldn't he run with the title for the summer?
Do you agree with the sentiment that he has to turn heel first before he gets over?
No, I don't. Absolutely, I do not at all.
It felt like he's been over.
I feel they've done way too much work with him for the past 6 months, and now it's just like, what the hell are you doing?
What was odd was Reigns was not getting a lot of boos lately. He was getting some pretty positive reactions, but when he was climbing that ladder all by himself before Bray Wyatt came out, he was getting a lot of boos. It's like, I tweeted this out. I'm like, you smarks just need to get over it. You're starting to think that you know better just because you got Daniel Bryan into that spot a year ago. Reigns has been great ever since winning the Royal Rumble. He has been phenomenal, and these people still boo, and it kind of annoys me now. But what can you do?
It all depends on what crowd he winds up in. Because sometimes he'll come out and get the pop of the night, and in other areas, he's getting booed. So I can see it coming from a mile away that they want to attempt again next year what failed this year, put the title on him at WrestleMania, and it's a bad idea because you're gonna hurt this kid like tremendously bad by doing this to him 2 years in a row. What could it hurt to put the title on him at SummerSlam?
If there were,
why would that really be such a bad thing?
If maybe there are some fresh ideas in the company, but we probably doubt it. But what if we get a good feud for these 5 weeks? We get a great match at Battleground, and the feud continues from there. I mean, these are their 2 clear future superstars, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns.
Well, one of them's a future superstar. The other one's a future endeavor.
What if you think? I don't know. I mean, they're high on. I think they're high on Wyatt, but
Triple H might be, but Vince sure as hell isn't. And I mean, it certainly shows on his booking for the past year and a half. I'll even go a year and a half at this point. The dude he's done, man. And as I said, nothing short of reuniting the Wyatt family is going to save this dude's career right now.
I don't think I'd go that far at all. I think you just got to bide his time. I mean, it's not like he's an old dog. He's got a lot of years left in the tank. I think you just got to weather some of those storms, and eventually you'll get up to the top. I think Bray Wyatt is high in everybody's minds at the company, and I think they're just waiting for the right spot where the pieces come together. You never know. I mean, we'll all probably pick Roman Reigns to win it, but maybe they finally kind of pull that trigger on Bray Wyatt and elevate him. Like I thought they were going to at Money in the Bank, but
not a chance in hell, dude. Look at the track record.
Yeah.
He's not going to. You know what? You know what's even funnier? The way he's been booked.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Ryback. But do you even remember the fact that he beat Ryback?
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. Because honestly, 5 minutes ago, I was thinking Ryback beat him. Because honestly, who's in a better spot right now?
Yeah,
Ryback's in a hell of a better spot than Bray Wyatt is, and he lost to the guy. Like, what? It just, the entire company doesn't make a lick of sense right now. And it's just, it's beyond disheartening, just how poor the creative can be on the main roster and how good it can be in NXT. It's really Just fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm. To in that Money in the Bank ladder match, it was a showdown between Sheamus and Neville, where Sheamus pulls Neville's hair, throws him off the ladder. Sheamus takes the briefcase down. To many people's surprise, he gets the win. I did a ranking of all the participants, and I want to think I put Sheamus at number 3 out of them. I think I ranked them Reigns, Kofi, Sheamus, Ziggler, Neville, or no, Reigns, Kofi, Sheamus, Orton, Ziggler, Neville, Kane, I think is my order of finish. But yeah, I didn't hate the ladder match. I thought it was entertaining. It was annoying that there were only usually 2 people in the ring going at it, and that was it. There was a lot of Kofi and a lot of Neville in the match, which I liked. And when the New Day came out, I thought, oh, here we go. This might be true with Kofi, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I didn't hate the match. It didn't have anything special, but I didn't hate the match. I thought it was a decent opener. Divas Championship up next between Paige and Nikki Bella, and this was finally we get some time with the Divas. They got an 11-minute match. The finish was a little dumb because we just saw it on Monday night or the other night or whatever it was. But I thought the women for creative not giving them a great build, the women went out there and put on a good, fairly lengthy match for the Divas, don't you think, Matt?
I would go as far as say this match was the second best match on the show. But the finish was sucked. The finish sucked.
Yeah.
But at least Paige and Nikki got some time, and I think these two work really well together. And I think it proves once again that when they give Nikki time and they let her work, she can prove how good that she is. Like I truly think you could take Nikki Bella right now and you could put her down in NXT. And I think she could have great matches with Sasha, Charlotte, Becky Lynch. She would, I think she would be on par with all those girls down there if they gave her time to go down there and work.
I think that'd be kind of
she's stuck with 3 to 5 minute Raw matches.
Yeah.
And the same old stale, boring storylines that Vince thinks are hip and cool for the Divas division. And it hurts the talent on the main roster because they're automatically considered not as good. Remember a year and a half ago when we thought Paige was going to come up to the main roster and save the Divas division?
Yeah, no.
Now she's just another girl on the roster.
She got pigeonholed.
Yeah, she's no different than anybody else on the main roster now. So for everybody saying how badly they want Charlotte and Sasha and everybody up on the main roster, pump your brakes, because as soon as they come up there, they're under Vince territory, and everything that you loved about those girls from down in NXT are going to change in a hell of a hurry.
Unlike NXT, the main roster only has one feud, so a lot of those divas are on milk cartons. Like, where was Alicia Fox the past 3 months? And then all of a sudden she's got a match on SmackDown.
Apparently they were all standing in the back watching the match for some reason.
Yeah, they were all but I mean, outside of Kid and Cesaro, Natalya hasn't done anything in that division for a while. Layla's on the milk carton for sure. And you only give one segment out of, how many segments are there on Raw? If I remember right, about 18 or something like that. Isn't that about right?
Something like that. 16 to 18.
So you give one segment to the Divas, and it's not even a full segment, and it's like, God, you got to be kidding me. In NXT, you've got 2 to 3 feuds. Clearly, I could name them right now. Charlotte and Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss and Carmella, Bayley and
Emma.
Emma. You know what? I didn't even mention.
You didn't even mention
the champion. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's crazy. But a cool thing about the finish, it was a dusty finish because we got a little false thing there. So the dusty finish was kind of a little, hey, cool, but at the same time it was not really needed. So,
I mean,
but
it was funny watching Brie, the padding out from her top.
I loved it when
that kind of made me laugh. So
I loved it when Nikki took the tissue and wiped her eyes with it too at the end.
Yeah, afterwards. Honestly, those two made the best with the hand that they were dealt.
But hey,
I
I'm
guarantee
happy.
you they probably saw it and you're like, you know what, this finish sucks, but let's try to have some fun with it, and let's do the best we can with it. And I thought they delivered, and all three of those girls should be proud of the match they had tonight. Ignore the online hate. Ignore the people bitching about the finish. If you look at that match, besides the final 30 seconds, the match was fucking dope. Mm-hmm. And I really would put it behind Owens and Cena as the best match of the night.
Yeah, because we're going to argue about the main event, but I mean, I'm not going to put it over as match.
Nah.
I'm not going to put it over as match of the year, but we're going to still argue a little.
Oh, dude, you couldn't even, dude. No, you didn't just, no.
You must have misheard me. I said I'm not going to put it as match of the year,
okay.
but I'm not burying it like you are, though.
You just had me. I was about to lose it, brah. I was about to lose it.
No, I said it. I'm not calling it match of the year, but I loved it. It was.
I can breathe now.
We'll go in depth about it, but I liked it a lot.
Look, I will completely explain why I hated the match. When we get to the main event.
Yeah, I understand your logic on that one part. Now we're talking in tongues now without giving it away, so we'll save that little banner later.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Let's go to the Intercontinental Championship match that I completely. They must have read my script from our predictions because they did exactly what I said they were going to do. The Miz attacks Big Show. Big Show wins by disqualification.
Which made no sense because he attacked both of them.
But I'm right. So
he attacked both of them, and then he clobbered Ryback with the microphone.
No, he clobbered Big Show with the microphone.
No, he took out Big Show, and then he clobbered Ryback with the microphone afterwards. He took them both out.
Oh, well, either way, I got that right.
Which means the match should have been a double disqualification and a no contest.
No,
JoJo's just on crack. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
I got it right. You got it wrong. Live with it.
You're just... Honestly, I don't think anybody should be awarded any points for that match.
Oh, I'm getting a point.
Big Show shouldn't be awarded anything either.
I'm getting a point, motherfucker.
You'll take a point any way you can get it, you bastard.
Yeah, that was it was a decent start to the match too, and for it being Ryback and Big Show. And
honestly, I was hoping it was going to be a minute squash. When he hit the spine buster and then he hit the hook, and I'm like, dude,
I thought,
if you just let him muscle buster him now and end it, this will be the greatest Big Show match ever.
You would have been happier than a pig in shit if that happened.
I would have. It would have been great. Honestly, it might have swung my entire opinion of the entire pay-per-view. If Ryback would have squashed a Big Show in a minute, it might have done it.
Let's save the best of the night for a minute here as we transition into our top five. But first, let's do a little bit of Impact Wrestling, Matt. I haven't been watching it lately just because I've been really busy on the weekends, and that's usually when I can get my Impact Wrestling on. Has the product been good? Has there been some good feuds, some good stories? Anything you can note of right now?
Honestly, besides the god-awful Mickey James Storm storyline, everything's been good. The matches have been good. The talent's been working really hard. There's nothing that I can fault the company for right now. They're in an uphill battle right now with not only the competition of Ring of Honor breathing down their throat, but they are...
What are some of the best feuds going on right now?
Well, EC3 and Angle is definitely the new feud now that Angle got his other stuff out of the way at Destination X.
Now, I haven't been watching. How did him and Rockstar Spud get paired up for a title match?
Spud cashed in his X Division Championship. He took option C. And TNA every year, if you're the X Division champion, when Destination X comes around, you have a choice of cashing in your championship. If you're the X Division champion at the time, you have the choice to cash in your title for a world title shot.
Oh, okay.
So you give up your X Division championship but in turn you get a shot at the world title. And that was first done by Austin Aries years ago, and he beat Bobby Roode for the title.
Now, is the title match contested in the Ultimate X arena?
No, it's just a regular one-on-one match.
Okay. But I heard it was pretty decent.
It was good. The match was good. Then Angle fought Austin Aries later on that night because Aries cashed in his Feast or Fire briefcase for the title, and they had another great match. Angle delivered 2 great matches in one show. But
Angle survives, and now we get to EC3, huh?
Yeah. So apparently they're not even waiting till Slammiversary to have the match. Apparently they're going to have it on an episode of Impact in early July.
Well,
so
you got to save your bacon, if you got ROH running, breathing down your neck, and rumors of your demise. So you got to definitely start.
I'm thinking one of the reasons they're doing it this way, and honestly, I don't blame them. The move of Impact from Friday to Wednesday, is kind of hurt them in a way, because I believe the final episode before Slammiversary is supposed to be live. And it was gonna be live on a Friday, but now it's gonna be live on a Wednesday, and they have to tape TV before Slammiversary, which will take place after Slammiversary. So they're going to tape editions of Impact between that Wednesday episode and Sunday that are all going to take place after a pay-per-view that they haven't even done yet.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah.
Huh. It sucks, You come back to the product after being away from watching it for so long, and you truly enjoy the product. I've enjoyed talking about the product with you, but I haven't watched in the past month. Part of it's due to timing. Part of it's due to I'm caring less because of what's going on. Part of it is I get Ring of Honor now, and I like Ring of Honor. But, yeah, it is sad because there's so many great talents I like to see on there. I'm a big fan of Rockstar Spud. I've always said that. But yet I didn't even watch his title match, So it's kind of sad that it's gone this way. But, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But hopefully they can bounce back. I don't know. I mean, Friday's a tough spot for TV. You'd think they'd do better on Wednesdays, but they're not.
They had an increase.
Good. That's good.
So, I mean, you got to take what you can get. They definitely had an increase over last. Both ROH and TNA had an increase over last week. So, actually,
we'll
I have numbers here. We'll talk about them when we get to that.
Cool. Yeah, we won't be talking about Impact Wrestling as much due to the timing of our podcast as we record on Wednesdays and the show. So we would be talking a week before, and because by the time this hits on Thursday, the newest episode already airs. So we'll try to still keep up with TNA and our pay-per-view reports, kind of maybe summarize some things, and maybe work out something to figure out how to maybe work TNA back into the podcast, especially if they're going to stay, because, I mean, we're both fans of the product, fans of a lot of the wrestlers, fans of a lot of the product they've given us since moving to Destination America. So we'll have to see what we can do from there. Our top 5 this week, we do not have separate top 5s, but we wanted to pay tribute to Dusty Rhodes for sure. And we're going to give you 5 quotes that defined the career and life of Dusty Rhodes. 5 quotes that you probably have heard. 5 quotes that are ingrained in the annals of professional history. First one that we come up with here: Ric Flair, the stratosphere is reserved for you and me. Matt, is there not a better line to summarize the anticipation of a match than that?
It's hard to argue, brother.
The stratosphere is reserved for you and me. It's like, oh man, it's like, let's see these guys fight already. These two had brilliant matches over the years. The next quote is a famous one, but you got to have it in here. I've dined with kings and queens, slept in alleys, and eaten pork and beans. That just shows you the common man breaking it down for you. Probably the most famous Dusty line of all time. Here's a good one, a nice longer one that he would bust out. The man of the hour, the man with the power. I'm the hit maker, the record breaker. I got the style and grace, a pretty face. I'll make your back crack, you'll live a quiver. If you ain't into this match, you're at the wrong address. Superstar when other wrestlers smile and joke in the dream. Woo! We'll be cooking and smoking. That just epitomizes the southern gent right there, don't you think, Matt?
Pretty much, man.
I'm surprised I got that in one take. I'm surprised I didn't really fuck that one up.
Good job.
The next one's a little small, but he almost ended a lot of sentences with this, and it always leaves an impression with you. Every time he'd end a sentence, and he'd go, "If you will," just puts that exclamation or that period right onto that sentence when he goes, "If you will." And the final Dusty Rhodes quote, we are actually going to play for you here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of finagle some things on the old rig here, because we're not a professional radio show yet, so we don't quite have all the engineers ready to get this for us. So I will do the deeds here and put together play for you one of the best promos ever in professional wrestling history from October 29th, 1985, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Dusty Rhodes talks about hard times. Enjoy.
Here's the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty, your fans welcome you back, man. First of all, I would like to thank the many fans throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, while I was down. Secondly, I want to thank Jim Crockett Promotions for waiting and taking the time, because I know how important it was. Starcade 85 it is to the wrestling fans, it is to Jim Crockett Promotions. And Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, with that weight, got what I wanted. Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years. They give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time. That's hard time. And Ric Flair, you put hard times on this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard time. And we all had hard times together. I admit I don't look like the athlete of the day supposed to look. My belly's just a little big. My hand is just a little big. But, brother, I am bad, and they know I'm bad. And there were 2 bad people. One was John Wayne, and he's dead, brother. And the other one's right here. Nature Boy Ric Flair. The world's heavyweight title belongs to these people. I'm going to reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for this gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world now. Reach it out, because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now, because I will be the next world's heavyweight champion of this hard time blues. Dusty Rhodes Tour 85 and Ric Flair, Nature Boy. Let me leave you with this. One way to hurt Ric Flair is to take what he cherishes more than anything in the world. That's the world's heavyweight title. I'm going to take it. I've been there twice. This time when I take it, Daddy, I'm going to take it for you. Let's gather for it. Don't let me down now, because I came back for you for that man up there that died 10, 12 years ago and never got the opportunity to see a real world champion. I'm proud of you, and thank God I have you. And I love you. Love you!
All right, there is the Hard Times promo. Obviously, my impersonation of Dusty Rhodes could do that one no justice. The power and the power and the passion in that promo definitely lives up there as one of the best promos at all time. Of course, man, I tell you what, Matt, there were so many great promos with that blue Mid-Atlantic background in there, hasn't there been, between Dusty and Ric Flair? Huh?
Oh, absolutely. And you added in the if you will into the top 5, but I would be remiss if we didn't add in right here on the mothership, baby, which was one of his taglines that I heard quite a bit over the years at 6:05 on TBS on a Saturday night. It's just good times, man.
That was we couldn't have given Dusty a better tribute on Lost in the Midcard if we didn't play that brilliant promo. I just love how at the end he gets all real somber, talks about his daddy, and says his daddy's going to help him from the heavens and help him take that title from Ric Flair. It's just, I just love how he ended that. It's just, he's so high energy and full of piss and vinegar, and then just gets all solemn and telling you what the job's going to get done. And that promo has probably been played millions of times over the past few days, and well worth it, because Dusty was a great man, and that promo solidifies everything that he represented and everything that he worked for. So, we definitely are going to miss Dusty, but it's great to look back and talk about all the different things that he's done in his career, for sure. Let's wrap up this podcast here with the rest of the Money in the Bank results, and holy shit, man. Kevin Owens, John Cena 2.
I just want to say thank God this match was on the card, because if this match wouldn't have been on this show, oh my God, this might have gone down for the worst pay-per-view since December to Dismember if it wouldn't have had Kevin Owens and John Cena on this show. Yeah, I said it.
That's a low bar right there, man.
You take Owens and Cena off this show and you tell me what you had. Your best match was the Divas match.
Main event was a little better than Divas match, but
we will agree to disagree, baby.
If you will. Lots and lots of fight Owens fight signs. I almost said fight songs. I got fight songs on the brain. College football just around the corner.
I saw the D Cena the sign.
I saw that.
And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, Owens! How about Owens stealing a page off Chris Jericho's playbook with a little bit of code breaking, huh? But there were many near falls in the match, and
tons.
You can see. You rarely see Cena get in the face of a ref like he did. Like, you almost thought Cena was going heel there for a minute. Like, Owens has finally pushed those buttons where Cena turns heel and just clocks Mike Chioda.
He was healing out, baby.
He was, if you will. But man, you don't ever see that. But some great moves. We saw the superplex reversal. That spot once again where Owens reversed it into his own suplex. That looked brilliant again. Looked cool because it was from kind of a different angle, different corner of the ring.
Yeah.
So it looked a little different than last month. But what the hell? After Owens kicks out the second AA, Cena lands a Canadian Destroyer? What?
No, that wasn't a Canadian Destroyer. It was...
That's kind of a modified one.
It was, damn it, what the hell is the name of that move? It's the move Melina used to do. They sit on your back and they do the little flippy thing. I mean, Cena just fucked it up. It certainly wasn't a Canadian destroyer. Let me see if.
Well, it kind of looked like one, but yeah, it's different because didn't Petey Williams he's standing upright when he starts his, right?
Yeah, because yeah.
Somebody told me Yoshi Tonic.
Yeah, see, yeah, I was just looking back into my notes from the pay-per-view. It was a Yoshi Tonic.
Okay.
Yoshi did, but I mean Melina used it for years as her finishing move. And, you know, Sami Zayn's used it quite a bit too. I mean, you just don't recognize it because it wasn't done properly. But I know exactly what Cena was going for. He just fucked it up.
Well, but still, for being a guy of Cena's stature, it's still kind of a cool move to see him do, though.
Honestly, if you can't do it, don't do it. That's just my whole thing. I get that he wants to try different things and whatnot, but if you can't do it, don't do it.
I didn't think it looked too terrible, though.
It didn't look good.
I don't know. I thought it was. I mean,
when he finally got the flip done at the end, but the whole build up to get in the damn flip was not good.
I read that as Owens trying to fight him off. I didn't read that as Cena fucking up.
Honestly, it was the only bad spot of the match, so it's a very minor complaint.
I think the main difference between the first match and the second match was the fact that that Cena actually followed up his springboard stunner with an AA. That's what got him the win in tonight's Money in the Bank match, where at Elimination Chamber he hit the springboard stunner and he followed it up with a pin. I think that looking at the technique or kayfabe looking at the match, I think that was kind of the key for Cena to get the win there. And man,
it also took him 3 AAs to pin Owens as well, and that
What?
was Brock Lesnar worthy amount of AAs there to get the job done.
I'm gonna have to watch them back to back. I can't say which match was better. I almost am leaning towards the first match. Barely.
I think the first match was better, but both matches were excellent.
Yeah.
So I mean, you really can't hate either of them. They were both really, really good. But
yeah.
I think the first match was better.
I'm saying I'm having a hard time picking, and I'm slightly leaning to the first match being better, but this one was, woo, man. And I have a feeling we'll probably get the rubber match at SummerSlam, which this type of a big fight should be on.
Yeah, please don't do this at Battleground.
Oh yeah, I think Cena's gonna sell the. Well, wait, what did I just? Wait, hold up.
Cena's selling it. You on crack?
What did I just say? What?
You're on crack.
See, I just said Cena and selling in the same sentence.
Cena's going to come out on Raw tomorrow morning at the top of the hour with a smile on his face.
Running down the ramp, sliding into the ring. Oh, speaking of which, that was pretty cool. If you didn't catch it, when Cena was running down to the ring, they had the overhead shot of the ring. And as Cena slides in the ring, the belt slides with him, and Kyoto makes a nice catch and toss right to Cena like nothing happened. That was, if you go back and watch that the beginning of that match, catch Mike Kyoto, watch him catch Cena's belt as it's sliding towards him, and then just toss it right back at him. That was a pretty cool spot there. After the match, Cena is wanting to give Owens his due for a killer match, and goes to shake his hand, and Owens does so. And we're like, wait a minute. Cena raises his arm and then gets a kick in the stomach. And then the power bomb on. Yeah, and then the power bomb.
It was hilarious.
And then his famous power bomb on the ring apron, as he's done to many opponents at NXT, he did to John Cena. And will he sell it? Yeah. I can't believe that came out of my mouth. That was kind of funny.
It was kind of funny.
But yeah, I think Cena putting his normal finishing combination together got him the win, if you want to look at it from a technical standpoint. But man, woo, brilliant match. They delivered again, just a hair over 19 minutes long. Then we get the tag team championship match. This is weird. a lot of rushing into this one, and basically Darren Young getting beat down by the New Day for most of the match. Titus O'Neil picks up the hot tag. We get a little bit of chaos, and then Titus hits his sit-out powerbomb for the win. Only 5 minutes long. I'm happy because I'm a big fan of the Primetime Players. I think a feud with them in the New Day will be fun. I just don't see why they only got 5 minutes, Matt.
It completely they've spent months building up the New Day, and they spent 5 minutes destroying them.
Yep.
There was no reason that the New Day had to lose the titles already. There was no reason the New Day had to lose the titles when only 2 out of 3 of them were at ringside. This is a 3-man group. When they finally got their comeuppance and lost the tag titles, it should have been to all 3 of them. And it was just a disappointment. And here's the long and the short of it. And I think it's bad news for both teams. I think the Primetime Players are transitional champions, and I think they took the titles off of New Day just so they could throw them on Rowan and Harper. And I think Rowan and Harper are going to be tag champions before Battleground. I don't think Primetime Players are going to have a long reign at all. I think they were transitioned to put the titles on Rowan and Harper. So that's just my opinion. We'll see if I'm wrong, but that's what I think. That's what I think they're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm happy for them though. I mean,
they should have won the tag titles years ago.
Yeah,
but they didn't. But now I think it's a hey, you're tag team champions, but hey, you're losing them in like 2 weeks. You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if they lose them tomorrow night.
That'd be lose them back to the New Day because it's going to be a
yeah. You're right. If New Day gets the rematch, I guess New Day isn't going to win them back. But I see, you know, the first time they step in the ring with Harper and Rowan, the tag titles are changing hands. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously,
because
WWE
New Day versus Rowan and Harper wouldn't have made any sense.
No, they're both heels. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of. We all predicted New Day to win, so I'm kind of just at a loss because it was such a quick match. They rushed it.
There was no build whatsoever.
No,
honestly,
no.
It goes back to showing you that Vince probably cares about the tag division just as much as he cares about the Divas division.
Yep, every time it catches fire, it goes to shit.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and this has been about as good as it's ever been in recent memory. So now hopefully we don't just break everybody up into singles wrestlers again and fuck everything up again, but who knows. Leading up to the main event of the evening, a ladder match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. We get one great pep talk from Triple H. I even tweeted this out that says, I'm ready to fight, because Triple H laid down a great little pep talk for Seth Rollins. And we have conflicting thoughts on this. In the end, we'll go right to the end, and then we'll kind of talk about parts of the match here and there. But at the end of the match, after a brutal physical match, and I liked it, kind of an old school working on a body part. The beginning of the match, I thought was great. They weren't really using the ladders and the chairs. They were working, just doing that old school type of brawling and selling the fact that they hate each other. But in the end, they climb the ladders. They both fall down with the titles, but the impact of Ambrose falling onto the mat enabled him to let go of the belt, and Seth Rollins retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Like I said, I wasn't hateful of the pace like you were, Matt. I thought it was some good old school wrestling. I think I think it was a kind of a tribute to Dusty and his old school style, a little brawling and stuff, and obviously Ambrose does his own little tribute with a bionic elbow off the ladder, which was great. I thought it was I thought it was a great psychology and well done. And I didn't even think it was 35 minutes long until I looked at the final ticker.
Oh my god, it was dragged. The match dragged so bad. Like, I was just like, oh my god, can this match be over already? The pacing was god-awful. One of the worst paced ladder matches I think I've ever seen in my life. The logic was absolutely thrown out the window. When your goal is to climb a ladder in the middle of the ring and grab a championship, and one of the people in said match are running away from the ring, logic dictates you set up the damn ladder and you go up and get the damn championship, not chase after them like a fucking retard. It's just... nothing in this match made sense at all. Like, there was no logic or rhyme or reason to anything that they did, and everything just dragged out. And you can tell Rollins. I think Rollins even knew that shit was dragging, because he kept on saying the damn line over and over again. How you gonna climb on one leg? How you gonna climb on one leg? How you gonna climb on one leg? I'm sorry, Rollins. I know you couldn't think of anything else to say either in the vein of an almost 40-minute ladder match, but it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
Why do you think it doesn't make sense? I mean, they worked on a body part that you need to climb the ladder with, and I thought it was brilliant work by Rollins, and Ambrose sold it great, I thought.
Yet every time Rollins put Dean down, Dean was right back up. So it didn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean,
at the end of the match, they were both coming down with the championship. So working on the body part the entire match did absolutely nothing for the finale of the event. It's not like Seth climbed the ladder and Dean was trying to climb the other side, but his leg just wouldn't allow him to climb, and that's how Seth won. I mean, that's not how it worked at all. Honestly, the working of the body part the entire match proved to be absolutely meaningless.
Well, I think it didn't prove meaningless because, I mean, it wasn't like Ambrose just sprung up the ladder like Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan can do. He actually, at the end, made the joke he crawled to the ladder like he was a zombie on The Walking Dead, because he literally crawled to the ladder and used his upper body strength to get up and get a hold of Rollins. Obviously, yeah, you got to be able to use your knee to stabilize yourself on there. But
why didn't he just climb and grab the title when Seth ran away?
I agree with you there.
He didn't do it once. He did it twice. Once when Rollins was running up the aisle, and once when Rollins went to escape through the crowd. Two separate times, Dean has the opportunity by himself as Seth runs away to set up the ladder and climb up and grab the championship, and you choose to chase him instead. It's mind-boggling stupid that you would put something together like that in the match, because it insults the fans' intelligence.
I agree with that part of it. That was kind of dumb that he went to chase Rollins. That did not make any sense at all. But I still thought the match was great. I thought it was a brutal war. The
match, 10 minutes shorter, probably would have been worlds better.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
I think
the match was way too long, which threw off the pacing, and with the logic flaws throughout, I think it hurt the match overall. And I think it was probably the third best match on the show. But that's not really saying much.
Yeah, and it didn't feel to me like it was a 35-minute match, which is probably why.
Definitely felt like it did to me.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching the clock, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, can this match be over already?
Yeah, it was I think just probably a difference in opinion between the two of us, because I thought it was a well put out match, and you don't. But at the same time, in the end, Seth Rollins wins clean with no authority interference. So going forward, Matt, where do you see the relationship with the Authority and Seth Rollins?
He's still with the Authority. It's just now they've just set him up to face Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's all this was for.
You think everybody's going to be one big happy family?
No, I don't think everybody's going to be one big happy family anymore. But I still think he's going to be in line with the Authority, and I think allowing him to get this win on his own was done in reference to he's going to have to face Brock now So we gave him a win that he won on his own. So you're expected to forget about the months of Seth not being able to win on his own over one match, and we're supposed to buy him as a viable threat to Brock Lesnar now. It's the whole mindset of Vince hoping you forget everything that he books. Because now he's deciding to do something different, so now you have to follow along.
Are you excited for a rematch with, or are you excited with Lesnar finally getting his hands on Rollins?
I'm excited that Lesnar's coming back, because I think the TV could surely use a shot in the arm right now that Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar provide every week. So honestly, I don't care who they're facing. Brock and Heyman back on our TV weekly will be a huge positive throughout the rest of the summer. And it's already been the arena that's hosting Battleground is advertising Brock Lesnar to be a part of that show. So I would assume we're getting Lesnar and Rollins at Battleground. So
what would you see Rollins and Lesnar doing at SummerSlam then? Rematch?
I don't see them doing anything. I mean, if Rollins somehow escapes Lesnar at Battleground, the smart thing to do is to do Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam and let Reigns beat Rollins for the title at SummerSlam. Because I'm telling you, attempting to do what I think they're trying to do right now is just bad news. Let him beat Bray in 5 weeks and let him go on and face Rollins for the title at SummerSlam.
So are you saying Lesnar's not going to be on the SummerSlam card?
No, I think Lesnar will be on the SummerSlam card. It'll just be against somebody else. I think Brock Lesnar will face whoever prevents him from beating Seth Rollins at Battleground. Because the match isn't going to end clean. So whoever interferes that prevents Lesnar from beating Rollins will be who Brock faces at SummerSlam.
Now, I know you're not happy with Sheamus winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, but what if it... I feel like it'd be an exciting physical match if Sheamus fought Brock Lesnar, don't you think?
The problem is there's nothing fresh about Sheamus at all. And I mean, I talked about this the other week on the show, of how terrible this incarnation of his character is. It's awful. So for him to carry around the briefcase sucks. A heel to carry around the briefcase while a heel is champion sucks even more. If you had to do it, they should have just let Dean win the title tonight and have Sheamus cash in and beat him.
Now, when JoJo was interviewing Rollins up on the ramp, did you think for a minute that
the
new guy was going to be Sheamus? No. I had thought for a second. I'm like, you don't see these interviews too often on the stage. I'm like,
I think they were just trying to buy time to 11 o'clock.
I was like, maybe Trips is trading up. Well, he wouldn't be trading up if he's trading to Sheamus, but
he'd be trading down for sure.
I don't hate Sheamus.
I don't hate Sheamus either, but I think the iteration of this gimmick blows chunks.
Yeah, but
like as I said, the best iteration of Sheamus was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The Irish, badass ass kicker that they're trying to redo right now, but they're failing miserably by making him a cowardly backpedaling pussy.
What is missing from it that'll make Sheamus viable?
Stop making him a backpedaling pussy to start.
The cowardly heel type of thing.
Yeah, the cowardly overdone in the WWE nowadays.
I mean, it's been done with Rollins ever since he won the title.
I know, but I'm so sick of the cowardly heel. It is Vince McMahon crutch booking 101.
And it was refreshing.
It just has to be. It has to stop. I'm so freaking sick of it.
Yeah, it was refreshing to see Rollins win clean, zero interference. Which, yeah, I mean, I love J&J. I like Kane, but it's been so overdone this year. with their interference, and so, you know, I wonder if we still get that Kane face turn somewhere down the road. You know, Rollins is going to be a cocky sumbitch on Monday Night Raw tonight. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Do you think Sheamus will be the third person to fail at a cash-in?
Yes.
First one was obviously John Cena, and the second one was Damian Sandow. So Sheamus is this the 15th winner or the 16th?
I believe it's the 16th.
They were talking 15 in the pre-show, so yeah, this would be the 16th. So
and the problem is the only person who I believed could have won that briefcase tonight, who would not have failed a cash-in attempt, would have been Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Like if Kofi or Neville or any of those other guys won it, as cool as it would have been, they would have lost the cash.
Yeah, they would have. They probably would have had.
I don't think Sheamus is any different. I think Sheamus, whenever he chooses to cash in over the next year, will lose.
They probably would think that Neville would make some kind of rookie mistake in cashing it in, so that's how he loses that cash in.
They would have been better off putting the briefcase on almost anybody but Sheamus.
I thought the sky was the limit for New Day, and they just went down to shitter in a hurry tonight, didn't they? But I mean, all hope is not lost. I mean, they can still rebound and be up there. But I legitimately thought there was a backdoor chance that Kofi Kingston would have that briefcase, and we would get a lot more New Day than we'd bargained for. That's going to wrap it up for our Money in the Bank edition of Lost in the Midcard, and also our tributes to Dusty Rhodes, who unfortunately passed away this Thursday. Our thoughts are with his family for sure, and you know, spend your time looking back at his career if you're not familiar with him, and learn exactly how and why he touched so many lives. And once again, I remind you, after Raw on the WWE Network, they will be showing Celebrating the Dream, a special about Dusty Rhodes, which if you can't catch it after Raw, it'll obviously be ready on demand there, probably around midnight Central or something, for you to catch. And it's definitely going to be a tribute you do not want to miss. Before we close shop here, Matt, any final words from you here?
Hopefully WWE can turn around their momentum this summer, because they stalled big time tonight. They have 5 weeks to build something good going into Battleground, and then it's off to SummerSlam. So I don't know. I hope WWE can turn the tide tomorrow and send things in a positive direction. But right now, after tonight, it just doesn't look good for the summer of WWE programming.
Well, Battleground is definitely what a lot may consider as a throwaway pay-per-view, but hopefully it's used as a springboard into SummerSlam this year. We can all agree that we were disappointed with Money in the Bank, though we have differing opinions on our thoughts on certain matches. We both can definitely agree that this pay-per-view typically is one that delivers. Unfortunately, that was not the case with this particular one. That'll do it for this episode of Lost in the Midcard, episode 21. We come at you with episode 22 this Thursday. We will run down our top stories along with the goings-on with television between WWE, NXT, and Ring of Honor. And as always, you can find us on SpiderDuck.net. Thanks to SpiderDuck.net, you can find us on iTunes. Search for Lost in the Midcard podcast. Also on YouTube, you can subscribe to us there as well. And if you need to find both of those links, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. For Matt, this is Jeremy. Have a great week upcoming, and we will catch you on Thursday.